we began the module talking about the population balance guideline. So 60% pop when you're attacking, 40% pop when you're defending. So I'll repeat. If you are at 60% population when attacking, try not to reinforce it. If you go below 40% when defending, try to reinforce it. Now, the other thing you have to consider when you are picking fights is, what is your goal as a leader? Is it conquest? Are you trying to capture bases? Do you want more territory? Do you want to win the alert? And these are perfectly legit goals. But there's another aspect you have to consider, and this is, in my opinion, particularly important for Planetside because it's an open sandbox game. If the game would reset more often, if it was smaller scale and more balanced in population, then conquest would be the natural default, essentially always. But in this case, since it's not unique but a very peculiar setting that we're playing in, you have to consider the experience, the player experience. Are you valuing that higher than the conquest in the game? And in my opinion, you should always value player experience more. So how much fun can they have? Now, if you choose the other option, I call it the Escort playstyle. What do you do when you have the player experience as your primary concern when you're leading is you are not focusing on the capture point in a base. You are perhaps looking mainly for defensive fights, and you're also looking at defensive fights maybe where you have friendly pop is overwhelming or just 60% defending or something like that. You are looking for options to help the players move to the next fight. What is causing the holdup? Are they getting stuck on some farm? Is there somebody chokehold in that situation? So you're going in there on secondary targets. In the terrain maybe, you're setting up AV positions, so you're not destroying Sundays. It's not about destroying Sundays. You're not there to destroy the fights, but you're there to sort of help the player base move on to whatever is more productive. So it's sort of a little bit like hygiene in the game. We'll get to some examples of that playstyle more as we progress in this module, I think. To give it more depth, the idea behind this escort playstyle or the secondary playstyle, back when Miller merged with Woodman, it was a different Planetside server, they merged them together. I think the Vanu faction got 2 massive outfits, and TR didn't really have any such outfits. We had some big outfits, but nothing like the ones on VS. So I mean, one of the VS outfits were bigger than almost all of the TR outfits combined, and they had 2 of those. I also think that NC had some very big outfits. They still have, by the way, but point being is that we were really in an underdog position as TR when the merge happened. Now, in order to be able to enjoy the game, we couldn't just attack bases because we would just get completely overrun. There's too many enemy players. The point being is that in that post-merge situation, we simply didn't have those massive outfits on the TR side. So we had to adapt to the situation and figure out ways we could play the game so that it would be enjoyable for us as well. So what it resulted in was we just was no point pushing the points. dropping on the points because you just get wiped. So we started to to focus on secondary targets. We were looking for where friendly players concentrated, what's holding them back from advancing, and then we would do our best to help them get to the next base and get on the point. So we would not get on the point ourselves, we would hold the flanks or supply them with spawns or whatever was needed. So that was the secondary playstyle, which then made the game more fun for the public players because they weren't stuck in a grind, plus it made the game more interesting for us because we wouldn't get overwhelmed.